It'll be the world number 3.
Ready.
To get this one underway.
Play. Love.
Couple of semi-finals in the last couple of weeks for Tsitsipas. Lost to a Pelka in Toronto. That was a rough one. Of course, Riley was playing some good tennis there, and as we know, when he's serving well and moving well, he's a tough proposition. The defeat in Cincinnati was really one that was a little tougher to take. And been up 4-1 in the third on Zverev. Couldn't see that one through.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned, he's had a terrific season, right? Finals of the French Open, 48 wins on the season, but there have been some moments, right? We mentioned 6 match points last year in the third round here, and you mentioned 4-1 against Sasha Zverev in the final set. So there's still some hiccups, even though the trajectory's been amazing. There's still moments of hesitation from Tsitsipas. None bigger, of course, than being up 2-0 against world number 1 Novak Djokovic in the finals of the French Open. Against most people, that would be a commanding lead, but as we've come to learn throughout his career, Novak Djokovic is never out of it, even when he's down 2-0.
Definitely been a feeling within the Murray camp. Mark was suggesting that given where he's at and given his age and obviously all the wear and tear on the body, that somehow there's going to have to be a shift in the mind just to try and to take a few more risks, isn't there? And you do wonder for a player like Andy, obviously, who's achieved so much in the game, arguably one of the greatest players of all time, how difficult that must be for him to accept that nullsy.
Extremely difficult. You know, when you've had that much success playing a certain way, I mean, it's interesting even to hear us speak now saying that Murray's the guy that's got to look for opportunities to be aggressive. It was always about his opponents trying to figure out a way to penetrate the defensive ability of Andy Murray. But as you mentioned, because of health, he's got to figure out a way to be a lot more offensive and try to keep points shorter. And also court positioning is going to have to improve a little bit.
Best inside-out forehands in men's tennis, isn't it? In terms of his ability to get them all moving off the side of the court.
Yeah, we focused so much in the last couple of years on the serve +1. Tsitsipas, one of the best. After that serve, looks to dictate with the forehand.
Tsitsipas in the end, and the quality of his movement.
And that's a little vintage Murray there. Great defense with the forehand squash shot, but up quickly to the drop shot. Drives the backhand hard in the direction of Tsitsipas. Challenges him to control the racket face there. Just too much pace.
This was due to be down in Australia. Was Andy at the start of the year, was good to go, did a lot of work back in December in National Tennis Centre. In London, but then contracted COVID, so was unable to go down to Australia. That was a blow. Another blow, obviously, in Miami, where he was again good to go in Miami. He was ready for a run, and then got to Miami a couple of days later. The body let him down again.
There's no question Andy Murray has been challenged physically. Quick look at Jamie Delgado, bottom right, his coach, and up above, an old face, Danny Valvardu.
Yeah.
Previously coached Andy Murray.
Again, Tsitsipas.
Well, a tough opening game. I will be pleased to have made him work.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for me to see how well Murray defends off the forehand side. You know Tsitsipas is going to pinpoint that side on the ground strokes. And also how long Andy Murray can sustain. The durability, how much durability is left in the physique of Andy Murray at this level of competition.
Of course, the Tsitsipas family relocated a couple of years ago down to the south of France. They're based at the Patrick Mouratoglou Academy. Patrick's been around Stefanos for many years now. It's a big team that he carries with him. He's got his physio here, his trainer. He looks to make the next step in his career.
Let's first serve.
Keep an eye on the service speed, because that's an area that Murray has definitely improved over the last couple of weeks. That was a heavy first delivery.
Yeah, Nick, you showed me some interesting Hawkeye stats before the match that actually illustrated that Murray's contact point is as high as it's ever been. And that tells you that the hip is firing. He's able to go up and hit it at its apex, generate a little bit more pop, firepower on that first serve. Those are the types of shots that Murray's going to have to employ. Just use his skill, his variety. Just try to keep Tsitsipas off balance ever so slightly. The good news is Tsitsipas is not one of those returners that really kind of attacks the second serve. So Murray doesn't have to feel so much pressure if he doesn't have a high first serve percentage. He can go for a lot more on the first.
Where do you see Tsitsipas as a returner? Overall, obviously he's in an era with some pretty great ones. Is it an area that's getting better, the return, from Stefanos' point of view?
Yeah, I think it's getting better. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's at the top echelon of returners when you think about the great returners in the game. But as he learns to kind of move up in the court, confront the ball, which is a little bit more difficult with the one-handed backhand. There's a nice illustration there on the forehand side. You know, obviously with that one-handed backhand, you got to have pretty good racket control, especially with your wrist, to offset the pace that these guys generate on the first serve. It's easy to block it back, but if you're going to try to be offensive, generally a lot easier to be offensive with a two-handed return on that backhand side.
Again, Murray.
Well, a quick court, that might be a useful serve over the course of the next couple of weeks. Time will tell.
1 game all.
That's a great opening game there for Murray. A couple of big serves, getting close to that 130 range, and also having the variety on the slice out wide there in the deuce court.
He recently moved, as Andy. He's based in Surrey, just about half an hour or so from Wimbledon, but the family just relocating. He's actually had a court built in his garden as well in the new house. So I know that they've had a few British players over to practice at home.
Love 15.
That's a prime example of the return that Murray is going to have to use often in this match. Up on the baseline, deny Tsitsipas time to get his feet in position.
A little bit of pressure on the Greek again.
Yeah, it's interesting to think where the headspace is exactly with Tsitsipas. We mentioned squandering that 2-sets-to-love lead in the final of the French and didn't respond very well. Went down early first round at Wimbledon to Francis Tiafoe. So all those things can be lingering at times, especially when your main goal is to try to secure your first Grand Slam title.
A couple of errant forehands.
Love 40.
Murray the first opportunities to get the break.
Yeah, two big miss hits coming off the forehand side. Couldn't quite have his timing yet.
Good news for Murray as well. It looks as though he's getting a decent read on the serve, doesn't it? Even though he wasn't able to get that one, you could kind of feel he was leaning that way.
The start of the match is always so important, but I think even more so on this occasion. If Andy can really get his teeth into the match and really get that belief, he can make this a very difficult afternoon for Tsitsipas.
A very long way to go, but it's 2-1. It's been a good vibe amongst the British guys back in Roehampton, the National Tennis Centre. I think one thing the pandemic has perhaps kind of filtered through to the guys. They've all been able to hit together a lot, and you sense that what he's done as well has kind of pulled the socks up of the rest. Yeah, watching from a distance, it's been really nice to see kind of the resurgence of British tennis underneath Andy Murray, right? The Daniel Evans, the Cam Norries. Let's not forget Kyle Edmund, who's been out with a knee injury, but I'm sure when he returns, he'll be back in the conversation as well. Yeah, Edmund due to come back in the autumn, the 2 knee surgeries. That's good news there for Murray. You can see just an average second serve, but Tsitsipas hit the return, hit it to the center of the court. So it's not going to do that much damage, especially off the backhand wing. So that's where I think it frees Murray up to go for some bigger first serve, try to get more free points. the issue he had on serve was that because of the hit, he was actually ended up throwing the ball a lot further to his right as well to compensate due to obviously the change in physicality to his body. And he said one thing that he's been able to kind of just build confidence in is actually getting the ball toss a little more kind of straight as opposed to further to his right. He ended up kind of slicing the serve a little bit, and that obviously took a bit of pace off the serve. Nothing in place today, though.
Wow. Could not have started better on serve so far in this match. Plenty of pop. Good look at it here. Full extension. Both feet off the ground. Great serve there from Murray.
(40-15).
To try and pepper the backhand as and when he can, and consolidates the break.
Murray leads 3-1 first set.
It feels like the Tsitsipas slice is one area, Knowlesy, that if you agree that perhaps could do with a little bit of improvement. Sometimes he does tend to kind of float it, doesn't he, a little bit too much?
Yeah, definitely. That's a shot that he can improve.
A reminder to head to usopen.org if you haven't already. Plenty to see on there. Keep up to date with scores, results, interviews. Besides.
And really good news here if you're in the Murray camp. If you're trying to zone in on his movement, the extra hustle there just to get one extra ball back on that overhead just shows you that he's fully locked in here and the body's feeling very well.
Movement impressive. A little unlucky in the end.
30 love.
In talking about the Tsitsipas backhand and the slice, it's also, he's got a very nice one-handed backhand, but he needs space, right? It's not one that confronts the bounce. Kind of needs some space. So as he develops that, being able to step in and redirect will also only get better.
He had an excellent clay court season, and he's the first to admit that he feels more comfortable on the clay of all the surfaces. So has quite a kind of high take back, doesn't he, Knowlesy? And you sense it on the clay. It's a little more beneficial for him. The ball obviously comes up a little higher, and
30-15.
And has a slightly better fit on the dirt.
Yeah, it's a long looping backhand, right, which gives you a little bit more time on the clay. But you mentioned players saying that the courts are a little bit faster here. He's going to have to maybe adapt a little bit, shorten the swing, use the slice maybe a little more effectively.
Impressive start.
How you like it now is what Andy Murray says. Look at the coverage here from Murray, and then look at the finish. And this is why you put in the hard yards. This is why you get the extra surgery when you're a great champion. Terrific memories right here on this court. This is where he raised his first Grand Slam trophy back in 2012.
And you'll remember that year, it was only just a few weeks after his Olympic gold in London. It was all happening at that time. Absolutely flying out here in this opening set.
And this crowd's responding. And he's doing exactly the right thing here.
40.
The only shot he could play coming up to this drop shot was shovel it back deep, but most importantly, get it to the backhand of Tsitsipas. He's not as proficient off that wing as he is on the forehand. As we mentioned, Murray is very good at the net.
Chance here for a double break. Would you believe it? Tsitsipas bluffs his lines when coming forwards. And Andy Murray has a substantial lead in the first. It's 4-1. So 2 breaks in the bag.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, the players are ready. Take your seats. Thank you.
Up to the ideal start.
That's 15 love.
Murray has won 7 of 8 first serve points, 88% so far. I mentioned terrific start on serve from Murray.
Just rushing.
30 left.
A really nervy start from the world number 3. This has not looked comfortable out here at all so far.
Left.
There's a look at the Tsitsipas camp. Patrick Mouratoglou on the right and his father Apostolos on the left. Definitely some looks of concern coming from the player's box.
Missed by a whole lot. You're just having a
40-15.
word with the chair on fire. Every court here at the US Open using the electronic line review.
Game, Murray.
We're just a game away now.
Murray leads 5-1 per set.
The other thing to keep an eye on is Murray, basically almost after every successful point, is pumping his fist. I mean, he's got a terrific focus right now in this match. He's got the crowd fully engaged, and you get the feeling that Murray's belief is growing with each game.
It's been some very dark days for Andy over the last couple of years. The resilience with which he's called upon has kept him out here, kept him going.
That's so
many knocks. A guy who, as we said, is just so passionate about the sport, so passionate about what he does. There have been plenty who would have hung their rackets up by now.
I think it really amplifies how important it is to most great champions to go out on their own terms. You know, it was a couple of years ago at the Australian Open when Murray had that emotional press conference where we didn't think we'd ever see him back out on the court playing at this level. But he's worked tirelessly to try to get himself back to this level.
Game.
That's a level that he'll be delighted with so far after some 35
Murray
minutes
leads
out
5
here.
games to 2 second sets.
Murray
Ball change.
enjoying himself.
Gentlemen, would you please take your seats? Please. Thank you.
So new balls here. Murray looking to serve out this opening set. It's a big second as well. 100 miles an hour, good depth to it.
Yeah, that's the key. The depth. Sometimes the Andy Murray second serve can fall short, and players are able to step in and be aggressive. See 11 unforced errors from Tsitsipas. A number of those coming from the forehand side, which is normally his stronger wing.
Let's first serve. 30-15.
Still not a bad miss there for Murray. Up 30-love in the game. Just keep points short. Find the right times, the right moments to take a couple extra chances.
It's arguably the best point Tsitsipas has played in the opening 40 minutes out here, and one that will give him some encouragement.
30-all.
Nice job here from Tsitsipas finishing at the net. Good technique on that backhand volley.
4 of 9 in the forecourt. Tsitsipas so far. It's a quality 1-2 punch. And again, it's all about taking time away from the Greek.
Yeah, really smart serve there. Went out wide with the second. But most importantly was the court positioning. He moved up in the court, redirected with the forehand up the line, taking away time from Tsitsipas.
Yes.
Felt there was a slight opportunity there for Murray, realizing that Tsitsipas was retreating more and more with each backhand, just to mix in a little drop shot there off the forehand wing.
Back on it though.
Advantage.
That's a big serve there, and it's very difficult for a one-hander to time that, to try to hit over it. You mentioned maybe not as comfortable with the slice and the blocking of the return, something we see Roger Federer do so well, able to just control the racket face and block it back when there's excessive pace, as there was in that occasion. 130 miles an hour from the racket of Andy Murray.
Incredible movement from Tsitsipas.
Yes.
If you had any questions about the athleticism of Tsitsipas, I hope they've all been answered after watching that point. Brilliant shot.
He still had a bit of work to do, didn't he, as well? Look how well he weighted that. of the very highest order from Andy Murray.
Yeah, this is absolutely fantastic stuff from the 2012 champ.
Murray.
Playing brilliant tennis. He's shown off some tremendous skill in the forecourt. Maybe none more than that pickup. And how about the reaction?
He has been so animated, isn't he? Right from the very first game. Set point once more.
Game.
One of the best sets in a long time from Andy Murray, whose desire is very much still there. He's got the world number 3 in a spot of trouble.
Tsitsipas to serve.
Yeah, it's been somewhat controversial. Very long one against Sasha Zverev in Cincinnati.
Tsitsipas got in response here in this second. I think he was probably caught a little by surprise. I would have thought Nosey by the level from the sustained level from the other side of the net.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, we've all been watching Murray over the summer and over the last 2 years.
14
I have to say it's probably the best set of tennis he's played, produced. Not only with his game, but also emotionally. Normally you get a mix of negative, positive energy. It was all positive there from Andy Murray in that first set.
Game, Tsitsipas. First game, second set.
Strong start though to the second from the world number 3. He's from a big family. His brother Petros has been playing a fair bit this year. He's got another younger brother who also is playing a lot. His sister competes as well. They're very much the younger siblings also trying to make their way into the professional game.
Very tight-knit family. Once again, there's his father. Pastos looks a little concerned. But the good news for Tsitsipas is he's got tremendous belief in himself. We've seen that since he emerged on tour.
Dad was actually a very big fan of Pete Sampras. He used to say that Pastos used to watch tons of Pete Sampras matches. He very much looked up to him, and they tried to use Pete as a role model.
Good role model to try to aspire to. The great Pete Sampras. Families of Greek origin as well. Pete growing up in California.
He recently had a big birthday, I think, did Pete, didn't he?
He did.
See him around a whole lot these days.
Your best chances if you're on a golf course. Another second serve point that Murray's able to win. Just going to be curious to see what type of adjustment Tsitsipas can make on the second serve to try to make some inroads.
not just the pace, but it's the accuracy that Murray's delivering off the serve that's so impressive at the moment. All set up by perhaps his best return of the match so far.
Spot on. First time he's really been able to handle the pace and drive that one-handed backhand to get himself in an offensive position.
First serve.
It's really key that Andy's been able to hit those big first serves on the deuce court because, as you mentioned, at times he has a tendency to throw that ball toss a little bit to his right, which kind of tips your pitch to the returner that you're going to slice it out wide. But because he's been able to pop a few up the tee, he's just keeping Tsitsipas off balance a little bit on the return.
Game Murray. One game on.
Once again, positive affirmation up towards his player's box. Completely focused.
Yeah, I think speaking to a lot of British players, as I've been able to do over the last sort of 12 months, the one thing they'll tell you about Andy as well, physically, he's purely from a muscular perspective, he's arguably in the best shape he's ever been. You know, he's worked so hard, obviously, with all the rehab and everything, that actually he is a physical specimen like perhaps he's never been before. And that's saying something, given where he was at. It's not to say, obviously, the stamina is as good as it once was, or purely from a muscular perspective, he's put a lot of work in.
30 left.
Those hard yards he put in with Ivan Lendl. Incredible year 2016 when he ended up as the world #1 ranking. Remarkable finish in London, wasn't there? Where he beat Djokovic in the winner-takes-all match.
Yeah, that entire fall season, he just kept winning and kept winning. There was no margin for error if he wanted to secure that #1 ranking. Achieved so much throughout his incredible career. Back-to-back gold medals in singles.
Yeah, something that had never been done before in tennis.
Let's first serve. Game, Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leads 2 games to 1 in the second set. First set, Murray.
Maintains his lead here in the second as he looks to respond. 2-1. And that's got to go down. I mean, you talk about great seasons.
Terrific shot there. What I'm seeing so far, you know, Murray's got kind of that hard slice second serve right now. So it's not that short kicking serve that we see sometimes from him where you're able to step in. Since Tsitsipas has that the one-handed backhand, because it's a hard slice second, he's not able to run around and necessarily find the space so that he can hit a forehand on the return. So very important for Murray to keep that up throughout this match.
And there is a feeling that, I don't know if you feel this as well, that because Tsitsipas likes to kind of camp in the backhand corner, Nolsey, and hit forehands from there, the line is open, isn't it? And Murray's used it well so far.
One of the few times that we've seen Tsitsipas run around the second and get that forehand, and you can see the difference. Then he can dictate play with the forehand and be offensive and move forward.
It's a good change-up. A defensive lob. Murray opting to let it bounce and
15-13.
Tsitsipas a bit of time.
And this was a difficult shot. This ball's up shoulder height, and he's able to change the direction, full extension. Terrific shot up the line there from Tsitsipas.
A bit of fortune. The Greek has got himself a couple of break points.
15-14.
First break points indeed of this match after exactly an hour of play.
Mr. Tsitsipas is requesting a replay of the call on the right far sideline.
Tsitsipas asking to see the electronic line call.
It's not going to change. Brilliant forehand. We've got Tsitsipas defending.
Just smart tennis from Murray. Started with the first forehand as he was moving back. Knowing that Tsitsipas likes to get to that backhand corner, he went to the forehand side and then approached to the backhand once again, and Tsitsipas unable to come up with anything off that backhand wing on that passing shot attempt.
very happy to see those sorts of exchanges unfolding. Only the backhand cross-court rally exchange has been only one winner so far.
And that's what he has to do, right? He kind of just amped the pace up a little bit on that last backhand. Let's face it, backhand to backhand, Murray wins that rally most of the time.
Yes.
One way to get out of the pattern.
Yeah, it's a great shot there from Tsitsipas. But if you're Murray, you're okay with this. This is a low percentage shot from the center of the court, redirecting up the line. You force your opponent to come up with something special. And that's what Tsitsipas did on that occasion.
He was sitting on the wide serve, wasn't he? It wasn't one of Andy's better ones either.
Had to be. That toss was so far to the right. Even if he went up the tee, it would have carved back in to the body of Tsitsipas. Missed opportunity there for Tsitsipas.
Another strong reaction. Another game down.
2 games all. Second set.
A game that was 9 minutes in duration. One thing that has changed in Andy's career is become very data-driven, as we remind you to head to usopen.org, of course. Keep up to date with all the scores. So many good matches taking place at the moment. He's become very data-driven as Andy. He wants to know the numbers in terms of the speeds of the ground strokes. His movement really has got into that side, the analytics side that is creeping into tennis more and more, it seems. Not for everyone though, Mark, is it? Some players more instinctive. They kind of feel like it should be more instinctive.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think there's been a general trend from all players, right, with the ability to get much more data, information, look at matches, get serve speeds.
40 love.
You know, with Hawkeye, all the great new innovations, you can kind of get a feel for guys' patterns, and especially on pressure points, which can be so important.
Yeah.
Please.
It's a perfect 12 for 12 on serve in set number 2. Here's the world number 3.
3 games to 2, second set.
Is just building a little bit of momentum here. Their serve percentage has just dropped a touch in this set, hovering above the 50% mark.
But I like that second serve there. Kind of the hard slider on the second just doesn't allow Tsitsipas that extra time to possibly run around and hit a forehand and get a more offensive position.
30 love. Left. First serve.
When you compare Andy's career with Djokovic, because of course they grew up together, they played juniors together, they're very similar age, their games are so similar, yet if you look at them right now, obviously with Djokovic at 20 majors, Andy with 3, I suspect there would have been a fair few people at the early part of their career who would have been surprised of that there was such a goal.
Yeah, it's quite impressive when you really analyze the numbers of Novak Djokovic, when you think that, you know, Nadal and Federer were dominating tennis. They got off to such a quick start, but over the last, what's it been now, 7-8 years, the winning clip for Novak Djokovic is just out of this world. He's just been able to rack up so many major titles.
15 up.
And going for the Grand Slam here this year, it would be a remarkable story if he could achieve it. Hasn't been done since 1969.
You know, and assessing Novak's chances, looking at this court speed, you have to say very good, because it's a part of Novak's game over the last 12 to 18 months that has really improved, is the serve, getting a lot of free points. We know his prowess on the return. So if he's able to get free points on the serve, very, very difficult to beat.
Second serve.
He certainly enjoyed the quick conditions in Australia this year, didn't he? Because the court surface down there, to all intents and purposes, was pretty quick as well. To be fair, he's enjoyed any surface in Australia, isn't he?
Yeah, he's made that place his second home. And that's really where the confidence started, right? He started down under. He started really applying himself, and then before you knew it, he became comfortable at all the Grand Slam venues.
Left. First serve. Game, Tsitsipas.
Still yet to lose a point on serve in this second set.
Tsitsipas leads 4 games to 3.
The Greek maintains his lead.
Second set, first set at Murray.
So many great things, not only for the players, but also for the fans.
It really has come a long way, this event.
Fifteen left.
Surprising miss.
13 left.
In the back of his mind at all whether he's a little wary of Murray's movement as well off that approach.
Yeah, it almost looked like a slight bit of hesitation on that forehand, right? As you mentioned, just, you know, as a player, all of a sudden something comes in your mind where I don't want to go with that shot. Just kind of pulled up on that last forehand.
Forty, 15.
Off the ground, just pressuring Tsitsipas as he has done really right from the very start of this contest.
Second set.
Not held back.
Yeah, nice 1-2 punch there from Murray. The wide serve and just a couple extra MPHs on that forehand to go through the court. Well done from Murray here so far. He felt like Tsitsipas has raised his level a little bit here in the second set, but Murray's been able to stay level. And now can he use his experience to figure out a way to pull ahead here at the second set and maybe get up 2 sets to love on the number 3 seed.
Murray just talking to himself, asking himself for a big push here.
Oh, that was the right play. You can see the frustration there from Murray because he knows that was the right play. He moved north and south very well in that rally. Got inside the baseline for that final backhand. Just misfired in the net.
Such a good length, wasn't he, in that rally? Tsitsipas absolutely nothing really to work with.
And Murray's been very disciplined because when you really look at it, Tsitsipas cannot hurt him that much going cross-court with the backhand. It's just a nice, easy ball when you think about how good the two-handed backhand is from Murray. It's only when Tsitsipas takes a lot of risk and tries to go up the line can he really penetrate and make a difference.
Last point, the first that Tsitsipas has lost on serve in this set. Plenty of time. How much good work did he do, though, to keep himself in the rally?
These fans are behind Andy Murray, appreciating the effort that he's putting forward here.
15,
Great defense
30.
kept him in the point, but an abysmal drop shot here from Tsitsipas. This thing almost gets to the service line. Plenty of time for Murray. Delivers it with pace. This is where experience pays huge dividends. Murray trying to use everything.
The return was on him quickly, and Tsitsipas is in trouble.
15-40. Thank you. Please.
That was a really smart forehand there from Tsitsipas. On that forehand approach, just took a little bit off. It went more kind of the inside-out short forehand. Because if he would have gone deep, Murray would have been able to get two hands on it. Instead, he had to go to one because it was up in the court.
Saves the first of the break points.
It's very difficult to read the Tsitsipas serve, but in my estimation, and watching him over the last couple of years, I think that's his favorite serve in the ad court. Not sure Murray could have done much with it, but didn't seem like he picked that one.
Talked about the ball toss for Murray. Of course, Tsitsipas made a minor change, didn't he, a couple of years ago? He lowered his ball toss a little bit just to try and make it a little bit more consistent. He does have the tendency sometimes to lose balance off it, but
still doesn't look like the most natural service motion, but very effective.
That's a classic example there where the speed of the court just catches him out, isn't it? On the clay court there, he's another foot back. He's got time to line the forehand up, but he just doesn't have the time on that shot.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
Could prove to be a very key game in the big picture of this first round match. Tsitsipas holds.
First set, Murray.
My estimation, level or behind in that deuce court. A little bit more apt to go wide. When he's ahead in the scoreline, he'll pop the first up the tee. And I kind of have the same feeling in this ad court as well. When behind, he tends to go more safe, go tee, a little bit more carve on it, and go flat. when he's ahead in the scoreline out wide. See what he does here. Got to look for a forehand here if you're Tsitsipas.
Slice up the line proved to be the turning point in the rally.
Yeah, he didn't look for the forehand on the return, but what he did do was he stepped up inside the baseline, finally drove a backhand through the center of the court, and boy, did he hit an impressive forehand up the line towards the latter part of that rally. First real pressure on the Murray serve.
Serve is eluding him.
A freebie there for Murray. That was exactly the point that Tsitsipas wanted to play. Got himself in position for the forehand. This is one of those, if you had a budget, how much would you pay for a first serve right now if you're Andy Murray?
Well, he's got more than most now. You have to afford it.
He paid the right price there.
30-all.
He's earned it. He's certainly not out here for the prize money anymore, that's for sure.
Tense moments. Both players starting to bark a little bit. Tsitsipas wants to get over the line here in the second set. He's felt the pressure from the former world number one. And once again, he's trying to get in position there, but because it's a hard slider second, as you keep mentioning, Nick, it just takes away that fraction of time where he's not comfortable. If it's more of a kick, then you have a little bit more time and you can hit over the ball a lot easier. When it's a hard slice, it stays a little bit low, not getting the racket head underneath that forehand.
Time on the ball has been a real luxury for him, isn't it? Out here so far. He's not been afforded that. Sense that Murray is feeling it physically somewhat, but he's able to hold on and get us to fives.
5 against all. Second set.
Murray having to dig deep there. Only got in one first serve in that service game. Somehow able to manage a hold to serve. Missed opportunity there for Tsitsipas. And think back to that Love 30 point where he had the forehand, tried to go inside out short, found the net.
Remember the battle that Andy Murray had here 12 months ago. A 5-setter that was 5 hours in his round 1 win over Nishioka. Some contest that was.
15.
I think Murray just has to be a little bit careful here. He's starting to get really emotionally involved. We talked about how positive he was for the first set and a half. Now a little bit too much negative energy. He doesn't have the reserves that he used to have, right? So he's got to manage that correctly just in case this goes a little bit longer than he would like.
I guess a part of that, Nozzy, has to be from the fact that, as we said, he knows this is a match he can stay on top of. He needs to stay on top of his man here.
Yep. He's going to yell at those gentlemen right there in that player box. They're going to have to absorb.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's a good job Jamie Delgado's as laid back as he is.
That's a terrific play there from Andy Murray. That's the sort of play that I've always felt throughout his entire career, even though he's had one of the most successful careers ever. If he could have done that a little bit more, it would have made it a little bit easier on his body. He's so well equipped at the net.
Yeah, this is his former coach, as Mark was saying, Danny Valverdue. Been working with Stan Wawrinka as Danny, isn't he? Who's still on the sidelines, is Wawrinka.
It's interesting.
14,
he almost got the double fault there. That second serve was on the back of the line, and that's why it pays dividends sometimes, that drive and charge. You just put a little extra pressure on your opponent's second serve. Don't want to use it all the time, but if you use it at the right time, it can be very effective.
Double of the afternoon for the Greek. But it didn't have depth, crucially. And Tsitsipas hangs on.
6 against 2-5 second set. First set, Norrie.
Continues to do so here in New York. Crucial 10 to 15 minute period coming up, you sense, though, in the overall picture of this one. Serving 5-6.
Thank you very much. Love the team.
That's a good serve there from Murray. Going against the grain a little bit, out wide, even though he's down love 15.
Defended the second serve, but it is a slightly worrying statistic, isn't it, for Tsitsipas, that Murray's almost at 70% Nausea points won on the second serve.
Yeah, there's no question. He hasn't been able to make any inroads on the second serve, really. It was only on the last Andy Murray service game, really the first time that Tsitsipas had troubled Murray at all. Definitely an area that he has to improve on throughout this match for it to go in his direction.
14-15.
Changes of pace, but Tsitsipas was able to survive.
And ultimately, towards the end of this rally, you can see the value of the slice. That shot right there, low to the back inside, forces Murray to go to the slice, which then allows Tsitsipas to get in position for a forehand. And look at the mighty flow that he can deliver. Already 3 in the world, but still, certain areas still have some improvement.
Just his 5th forehand winner of the match. So a tiebreak it is. A set that's just ticked over the hour mark.
6 games old. Second set.
Full distance.
Tiebreak.
I mean, you definitely have to be very careful when you look at Andy Murray, but he sure does look like this second set is of the utmost importance. But he does have a tendency to lure you in at times, but definitely looks a little bit more physically worn than Tsitsipas at this stage of the match.
Able to capitalize.
Murray.
Pretty smart shot there from Murray. Rather than drive the backhand, realizing that Tsitsipas was retreating, he just kind of bunted it short, because then that would make Tsitsipas have to hit up.
to it. This time he knew what was coming.
That was the right play here from Murray.
1-0.
A little short on execution with that volley right there. Maybe if he had a little bit more belief to punch it deep cross court. Tried to go short, but the movement of Tsitsipas is quite spectacular. Covers a lot of ground.
Please. Two, one, Murray.
You mentioned how coming in, he's lost a couple of relatively big tie breaks, isn't he? In Cincinnati, the first set to her catch, that kind of set the tone for the rest of it. Then in Winston-Salem last week, TFO got the Federer in an opening set tie break.
Thank you.
That was a missed opportunity. That was a short second serve to the forehand that didn't have good location either. It was right in the wheelhouse for Andy Murray. I think even he was surprised. Ended up resulting in the error.
Three, two, Tsitsipas.
Excellent finish, but again you have to question the quality of the return.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he's not challenging himself to get in position with his feet to hit a forehand on that second serve return. You just can't take a backhand there. He's not been effective. He mishit that backhand return, short, nothing on it. You got to take chances. You're down a set here. You cannot go down 2 sets to love. You've got to have belief in your ability. You know, if Murray hits the second serve ace up the tee, tip your cap to him. Put the ball in his court.
Those were tie-break records. You can see Tsitsipas played a fair few this year. Of course, he lost his last one in Cincinnati, that final set breaker, defeat to Zverev.
I don't know about you, Nick. That backhand pass hit the bottom of the net. You've got to figure out a way to make your opponent volley there. Just snatched at that backhand passing shot once again.
Let's preserve.
It's the perfect one. He was a little lucky off the return, but he's made the most of it.
Yeah, this is vintage Andy Murray. He can do pretty much whatever he wants with this backhand. Look how he controls that with the left hand. Gets the ball up with plenty of spin inside the line. Terrific shot there from Murray.
5-3 Murray.
Incredible stuff. Murray's defense of the net was remarkable.
Look at how wet that court is. That's all sweat coming from Andy Murray. It's the second time he's gone to that type of volley, trying to drop it short behind Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas almost got caught there.
5-4 Murray.
Murray hadn't slipped. He would have liked his chances to be in position there for that backhand volley.
He slipped on his own perspiration, didn't he?
Yep.
Thank you.
If you're Tsitsipas, you have to figure out a way to get your feet moving, get in position to hit a forehand on the second serve return. Start taking some chances here and believing in his ability. Andy Murray is going to find himself up 2 sets to love.
Time and time again, he's been pinned in the backhand corner. He's been pressurized. And Murray on the brink here of a 2-set lead.
Murray mumbling to himself and to his player's box that his shoes are completely soaked. I think he's saying, I need more shoes. I'd be surprised if he didn't bring out 2 or 3 pairs. Most players in these hot, humid conditions will bring a couple of pairs in their bag onto the court.
Well, you can see he's got the ankle braces as well. That's only going to exacerbate the heat and everything else that's going on inside there. Absolutely brilliant from Stefanos Tsitsipas. How cool was he?
Wow, those overheads were not easy, ladies and gentlemen. A big stadium like this, with the crowd trying to judge, get the perfect spacing on the overhead is not easy. And he handled this like a champ. First one there, and then still had to regroup, moving backwards. Oh, terrific stuff there from Tsitsipas. Great signs, though, from Andy Murray. Just getting back that one extra ball. Let's see what he's going to do with the shoe here. Let's see just how many liquids these players are taking in.
Humidity today has been played its part, and so often does here in New York, especially at this time of year. It was particularly rough last week in the qualifying, wasn't it?
Yeah, extremely hot and humid.
Seven-6. Tsitsipas.
And this is where we talk about collecting data. You know, if you're Tsitsipas here, you got to be thinking, I'm going to give him the serve out wide. And he always tendencies, when he's behind in the scores, to go T in the ad side. So maybe you just lean on that serve a little bit here.
What an opportunity. He had a good look at the pass.
He was trying to take a page out of the Andy Murray book by just dipping that first passing shot cross court. Rather than going for a clean passing shot winner, trying to get it low, but just caught the top of the tape. Would you believe it? A double fault coming from Andy Murray. That's 7-all in this second set tiebreak.
Just his third of the match. A match that has just ticked into its third hour. The world number 3 rebounds in style. A tremendous effort from Stefanos Tsitsipas, who squares things up here in New York. It would seem as though he doesn't have a spare pair of shoes. Certainly at the change of ends there weren't any forthcoming, were there?
No, he was putting the air vent into the shoes, trying to dry them out, which, as we mentioned earlier, that's very surprising, especially somebody with the experience of Andy Murray. sure he's probably sent somebody from his team to possibly get another pair, but as you can see, he's wearing Under Armour. The on-site. Usually it's not. You can find some Nike stores around that sell some shoes, but I'm not sure if there's an Under Armour outlet on site, so it could be tricky.
There's his own brand of clothing now, the AMC line.
The good news is it's quite humid, but they've been playing in the shade for most of this match, so not getting the direct heat.
Worth reiterating as well that Tsitsipas is yet to break in the 2 hours and 12 minutes this match has been going.
Yeah, there's only been one service game of Murray that Tsitsipas has had any opportunities, really.
Stages of this third set you sense vital for Murray to keep the spirits up.
Murray, of course, has been in almost every position there is in a tennis match. So although he'll be disappointed and frustrated he wasn't able to secure that second set, should be able to regroup mentally here.
Always enjoyed coming to New York, hasn't he? He's always enjoyed playing in the States. Enjoyed the atmosphere created here.
Yeah, he's talked about how he always felt the fans really appreciated his style of play, the effort that he brings to the court.
Tsitsipas, I think, is just changing his shoes. Not quite sure why this wasn't done when he went off court, anyway.
So it's the youngster that's only been on tour for a couple of years that has a couple extra pairs of shoes, but not the great Andy Murray. Surprising.
Got a little bit of hot water this summer. Tsitsipas for the length of the time he was off court. Toronto in particular. A couple of extensive bathroom breaks. Of course, you're only allowed officially in a best-of-3 set match 1 at the end of a set.
In the best-of-5 sets, you're allowed 2.
I believe shoelace broke. That was the problem.
Interesting that it was a shoelace, because we saw him kind of stomping his shoes at the back of the court.
Seven career titles to his name already. That win at the World Tour Finals at the end of 2019 was such an impressive week. An approach, though, was a little less impressive.
30-all. A
forehand that he would certainly have backed himself to make. And again, maybe he's feeling the pressure of the movement from Murray that has been magnificent today. Only chance to break. Done just that. He was given a helping hand. Murray gets off to a fast start in the third.
Awfully surprising. You would have thought that Tsitsipas would have really felt a sense of new life after securing that second set, and plays a very sloppy game on serve. There are two relatively routine forehands. Just the start that Andy Murray needed here in this third set. You can hear in the background, that's Andy Murray pumping himself up. A couple of come-ons.
We've had 6 first serves in this third set already.
Really nice start from Murray here in this third set. He's really played a terrific match so far. Obviously disappointed to not be up 2 sets to love, but you also have to credit Tsitsipas. He was very resilient towards the latter stages of that second set.
Turn that fails to find its mark. Andy Murray has bounced back nicely at the start of the third. 30 plus. This man's a Masters 1000 winner, as we remind you to head to usopen.org if you haven't already. Plenty to see and do on there. Check out the latest scores. Merchandise to be had here as well.
I love the team.
You know, best of 5 matches are so interesting, right? There's a little bit of a lull here, even from the crowd and the players, and this is where it falls upon the player to make sure you maintain your level. Tsitsipas a little bit of a drop to start the third here. Murray has to maintain his level, his intensity. Much more difficult to do from start to finish in a best of 5 set match. I'm having a hard time understanding how Tsitsipas is not running around and hitting forehands on the second serve in the ad side. You know, Murray doesn't have necessarily the best second serve, right? It can start to get very predictable, and he continues to do the same thing and not get in position to hit forehands and get more offensive. You know, the Murray second serve to the ad side is not a huge kicker, right? It's not like one that's going to go off the court like a Dominic Thiem. So, you know, it's not like you have to cover that much ground to get in position to hit a forehand. But he's been unwilling to take the risk.
Good hit. Forehand winners have been in a premium for it.
And to me, it just highlights the beauty of tennis. You know, I continue to be a proponent of no on-court coaching, just for that very reason. Because it's up to the player to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, chances are probably walk off second best.
This time, really, it's been useful, the drop shot, but it really looked like it had enough there.
30-14.
It almost felt like he just didn't take that one extra step to get in position to drive the backhand, so that's why he went to the drop shot. Even if it went over, Tsitsipas was going to be there in time. Just the third breakpoint opportunity of the match for Tsitsipas. Yet to break serve. That's a beautiful serve there from Murray. Trying to fire himself up here. Just sensing a bit of a drop in his intensity. Barking at his player box. Brings some intensity, some energy.
Jamie Delgado continuing to check his phone. I mean, trying to get the message one senses to get the shoes down here. More purpose, more intent from the world number 3.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
It's no coincidence that you see more intent when he's hitting that forehand. Right? That's when he has the confidence to move forward, cut the court off a little bit.
To run around it, Nosey, he did. Just didn't have the follow-up.
Yeah, interesting. He ran around and got in position, but I'm not sure he did enough with that first return, right? It was kind of a little bit of safety, and Murray was able to get enough behind his backhand to take away time from Tsitsipas, but still better signs there for Tsitsipas, trying to do something different to manage a break of serve.
Superb from the Greek. He's just starting to take matters into his own hands a little more often.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
Yeah, seems to be on the front foot a little bit more, and just a very intelligent shot here from the Greek star, realizing that Murray was so deep in the court. Nice change of pace there with the drop shot.
Saw that quite a bit over the course of the clay court swing, didn't we?
Big force serve there, but most importantly, jammed him into the body, 120 miles an hour. Very tough one to deal with when you're trying to drive it. It's one of those where Tsitsipas needs to just block it back, use the pace.
22 points played on serve already for Murray in this set.
Advantage, Tsitsipas.
Surf on the break points.
Yes.
Wow, full credit to Andy Murray coming up with the first serves, but also changing the location. Seeing two aces up the tee, but we also saw a monster serve at the body. So keeping Tsitsipas off balance.
Entertainment they've had on Arthur Ashe on the opening day. The preceding singles match ended in a final set tiebreak. Still a long way to go here.
What a terrific day with these matches. Also still Naomi Osaka to come in the night session, followed by world number 2, Daniil Medvedev. Great to be back in New York.
Touching the net.
A little bit of luck on a few occasions from Tsitsipas. Murray trying to do everything he can to get through this game, almost up to 12 minutes.
Let's not forget, of course, the match with Basilashvili was 3.5 hours. The match with Oscar Otter in the second round at Wimbledon was just shy of 4 hours. So, yes, of course, on a grass court, it's going to be perhaps a little shorter. Unbroken out here on Arthur Ashe. He forges further ahead. It's 4-1 in the third.
4 games to 1, third set. Once it all.
I don't think anyone really expected Murray to produce this level out here today. Did they, Nolsey? Did you? Do you think he was capable of
I'd like to
keeping
tell you
it going?
That I did think so, but I actually did not. This has been very impressive from Andy Murray. What I'd seen so far this summer, I just thought there was a little bit of doubt still, but he has been terrific out here today. When you consider everything, the key thing was Andy saying that his body felt good. It was just a matter of getting his game to the level that he wanted to. So the fact that he's back in a surrounding that he truly enjoys, and the pressure is off. And as you just mentioned, not many think that he had a chance here today. But he is in a very good position right now. I know you saw this coming.
If only. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. I was at Wimbledon in May, and I actually bumped into Jamie Delgado at the club, and just talking to him then, in terms of how far Murray has come from the middle of May to where he is right now. I mean, Jamie back then was pretty low, I tell you. He was sort of in a position where they thought it wasn't really going anywhere. They didn't feel like he wasn't moving well back then. He was hitting the ball well, but he just wasn't. He didn't feel like the movement was there, and that was only 2.5 months ago. So. Yeah. Testament to his will and his desire and his work to keep it going and keep it moving in the right direction when he finds himself in this position. I think all's well, Nosey. I don't know if you agree, but I think Andy's a sort of person that purely ball striking, he still believes.
Oh yeah.
Ball striking wise, he can live with anyone.
Yeah, he hits the ball as clean as anyone. But as you mentioned, the important thing is the movement, something that's been a staple of his career. The defensive skills that he has. It's been altered somewhat because of the injuries.
30 left.
So you have to kind of reinvent yourself in a sort of way. Use a little bit more of your variety. See, he served extremely well today, popping that first serve. He's hit a couple of returns and come in behind him. A little drive and charge.
$15.
You have to give credit to his team as well. You've referenced Jamie Delgado's trainers, Davis Cup fan, for them to still continue the belief, right, as you mentioned?
Yeah. Matt Little, who's not here, strength and conditioning coach for many years.
$15.
No one more important than his wife Kim and their 4 kids to allow him the time and the effort that it takes to rehab, get yourself back to that level. That's what you find with a lot of athletes when they get towards the end of their careers. Their lives have changed, having been married or have kids. You just don't have the same amount of time to dedicate to get to that level. So it's important to have a great support staff.
His full repertoire. Murray, a game away from a 2-1 lead. I'll stay right where I am, folks.
Well, we've gotten some great performances so far here today on the opening day of this year's U.S. Open. Another terrific match here on Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Second serve. 30 left.
Not quite as physical this third set, has it? Which this is understandable. That long service game for Murray, but the sort of rally length has dropped a touch.
Yeah, I've actually been a little bit surprised at the reaction of Tsitsipas in this third set. Murray's basically been the emotional leader throughout from the start, pumping himself up. And we probably expected that. It's been maybe a little bit more positive than we expected, which is great for the Murray camp. But Tsitsipas, I thought, after securing that second set, he would have really elevated not just his game, but his emotions. He's been fairly subdued.
Get there with these.
You know, I think it's always a chess game, right? When you're talking about the changing of the guard, Tsitsipas has been kind of viewed as the next generation, and he refutes that. He said, "I'm here now. I'm here to win majors." But still, there's some respect to the old guard, which is Andy Murray, 3-time major champion. But I feel this is a moment where Tsitsipas needs to get more emotional. Say, "Yes, indeed, I am here."
Tsitsipas on this occasion doubling over.
40-30.
Well, as he used the two-hander up the line at times today, just to keep Tsitsipas honest, keep him moving to his right, therefore exposing a part of the court that he's not quite as comfortable defending.
Game Tsitsipas. Murray leads 5-3, third set.
Beaten the top 5 player, Murray, since the tour finals back in 2016, incredibly. A match we referenced earlier on. That win was the victory over Djokovic in the final that year. Regrouped so well in this third set.
15 left.
He's been the one that's maintained the level.
Had a chance there, had the passing shot lined up that line.
15-all.
We've really seen the value again, haven't we, Nosey, of the backhand slice defensively, and kind of the contrast between how one player has it to use in terms of a situation like that, and another player at the moment doesn't have that to call on.
Yeah, you're so right there, Tsitsipas. That's one area of his game that he's going to have to improve on. He's going to continue to add to the arsenal.
It's
very rare that you see a one-hander that doesn't have a really efficient slice, because there's so many situations you can create off that slice.
Second serve points 1 in this set for Murray, lower than the previous 2. It's 5 from 11. You sense is fueling the frustration.
Played a perfect point, really.
30.
Covered the ball up the line, just missed that forehand volley. Tsitsipas moves around the court so beautifully. Forces you to hit that one extra shot. And here the crowd trying to get behind Andy Murray here. Get him through the finish line here in this third and final, not final set, third set. Excuse me. Huge set for Murray.
First serves in this game.
That's what Tsitsipas deserves. There's a really short second serve in the middle of the box, and he chooses to hit a backhand to the center of the court short. And Murray, doing the right thing, is aggressive and pops the forehand. There's no reason why Tsitsipas doesn't run around there at 15-30. All the pressure is on Murray. He's not going to go for a big second. And Tsitsipas has been unwilling to take risks on the return.
Goes in a bit of serve and volley for good measure.
That would make your old friend Tim Henman very proud there, Nick. Great serve and volley. It was not an easy first volley. Hit with a lot of pace down low, but Murray came up with a beauty.
Almost bang on 3 hours. Murray on the cusp of a 2-1 lead. Champion here in New York continues to defy the odds.
Murray leads 2-1.
Andy Murray has the 3 seed on the ropes. He leads Stefanos Tsitsipas by 2-1. He's used the medical timeout, the treatment he's received on the foot. Competed more than most this year, Tsitsipas, if you look at the amount of tournaments he's played. 17th event of the year already.
Love it.
And look once again at the Tsitsipas camp. Patrick Mouratoglou in there, and also his father, Apostolos.
Also travels with Jerome Bianchi, doesn't he? He was his physiotherapist. I think he was at Songa for a long time. Jerome.
Yep, exactly.
Just to the right is Jerome. There he is. And then went down to Australia with Tsitsipas this year.
13.
There's no question that Tsitsipas, one of the hardest workers we've seen. A true professional. Will do absolutely everything he can to get the best out of himself.
Probably has told us, Mark, is that there's still a bit to work on, isn't there, for Stefanos, despite everything he's achieved so far?
Yeah, that's what's incredible. As great a career as he's had, we mentioned 48 match wins this year alone on tour. There's still little parts of his game that can improve tremendously. So, sky's the limit. And no doubt this man will secure a couple of Grand Slam titles before he's done.
Is he going to win more or less than his opponent when all is said and done, when his career's over, do you think?
That's a really good question, Nick. You know, I just think we're not going to have that dominance that we've had, as you mentioned earlier as well. So I want to say maybe a fraction more.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's still so much upside. He plays well on all surfaces, prefers the clay.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't really found his form on the grass quite as yet, but when you look at his frame, his size, the ability to improve the volleys in the forecourt, I could see him being good on grass as well. And the young man believes in himself, which is so important.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? A great question you asked.
20, what is he, 23 now, Tsitsipas?
Yep.
I think he might win more. Yeah, I think he might win more. In many ways, you have to reflect that, you know, we talked about it earlier on, but Murray's 3 majors. So he's been one of the greatest players, but you can probably look back and think, how many more might I have won? I'm sure he doesn't think that, but at the same time,
yeah, I mean, if you use straight math, right, he's probably going to play for another 12, 13 years, Tsitsipas. So, you know, if he stays healthy, that's, you know, injured for a couple, probably 45, 50 majors. And if there's not that dominance that we've seen of the big 3 over the last 15, 18 years, then chances are he'll probably get more than 3. I wonder if that question was asked about 20 years ago watching Roger Federer.
Probably. There were probably a few people that made a fool out of themselves answering it as well.
I'd like to ask our producer, Harold Hecht, if he can produce some audio on that. Let's see who we can get out here. It said Federer's going to win 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I do think we were all in agreement that Nadal was going to win multiple French Opens for sure. There was going to be a vast number.
out of the chase as well. That is a little concerning. Tsitsipas here. Didn't want to put weight on it.
Did call for that trainer, and that's a huge question mark because his physicality, as we mentioned, athletic specimen, moves around the court so well. But if he's hindered in the slightest, especially in that foot, it could really give a nice boost to Andy Murray across the net.
Of course, with the Olympics squeezed in this summer, it has been a fairly tough spell, hasn't it, for the players in terms of travel as well. The gifted Tsitsipas will root back in this game.
Yeah, this forehand just looked a little tired, right? Legs kind of came out from underneath him. Spun that left shoulder open a little quicker than he would have liked.
Found some space and exploited it.
Such smart tennis there from Tsitsipas. He's got Murray on a string, moving him side to side, but also pushing him further back in the court, and then mixes in a nice drop shot there off the forehand side.
Well, it's taken 3 hours and 16 minutes.
Tsitsipas leads 2 games to love.
Tsitsipas has finally broken, but again, Mark, rather hobbling his way into the corner.
Yeah, he pulled up a little bit there. Nice backhand return, got good depth on it. Let's see if we can see anything here. Yeah, you can see he just pulls up a little bit there. So something to keep an eye on. It really highlights how unfortunate it is that Murray dropped serve there, because if there is a bit of an issue there for Tsitsipas, you don't want to give him any hope.
Gloucester and Mark Knowles here with you on Arthur Ashe. It's been a dramatic opening afternoon.
59.
Murray, has he just called for the trainer? I think he may have done.
30 laps.
It's all happening out here. In case you wanted some drama, we've had high-level tennis. We knew this was going to be a physical match. We mentioned the hot, humid conditions today. It looks like Murray reaching for his foot as well.
Kim Hellworth on the phone to HQ.
30-15.
These matches become so physical. These guys have taken movement to another level. Their flexibility, so many factors. These guys are just supreme athletes. Play there from Tsitsipas. Not an easy volley once again. Murray dipped that passing shot, got it down low. He's going to open up a little dialogue with Jamie Delgado there on the right. Leon Smith, British Davis Cup captain, in the left of your screen. The box is only down to 2 now. It started at 4.
40-13.
Just having a quick word again with Nico Hellworth in the chair. On the single hand, I just could sense the pressure he was under. There's Jerry Armstrong. He's the Wimbledon referee these days, is Jerry. He's been on the tour for longer than he wishes to remember, I'd have thought.
Yeah, loads of experience Jerry's bringing to the court.
Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas shrugging off the injury.
Murray leads by 2 sets to 1.
World number 3. Murray serving here at love 3.
Still not enough on that second serve return once again from Tsitsipas. I mean, it's just not through the court. It's just short, sitting up. Something that Tsitsipas is going to have to continue to improve and work on as he continues to progress. And Nick, if you're Murray here, do you possibly give your best in this game, and if things don't go well, look to see if you can kind of monitor your energy levels for the 5th?
I think he's also got to be a little aware of Tsitsipas's issue with his foot, doesn't he? Because that does seem to be a little in and out. Interesting to see what happens if he loses this game, that's for sure. There is much interest taken in the remainder of this set.
Oops.
Instead of going cross-court, going up the line on the backhand. One of the slower second serves we've seen from Murray so far in this match. Just short, not much behind it, 83 miles an hour.
It is back-to-back breaks of the Murray serve. And this match looks increasingly likely to be heading to a fifth and final set.
And it's interesting, Nick, because you mentioned at the start, did Murray feel the pressure that maybe he had to win in 3 sets? At least 4. And we can see how important that second set for Tsitsipas was, that he was able to secure that to get this to a stage of the match where it's really becoming a physical battle. Not just with energy reserves, but also with physical health. Both players struggling a little bit.
As though there's just been a slight drop-off in the pace of the Murray serve, doesn't it, as well? Quite as much on the second either.
Almost 3.5 hours in.
Just a reminder, head to usopen.org. Plenty to see there, lots of updates in terms of matches being played right now. You can get across everything that's been going on. The winner of this match will take on either Mannarino or Herbert. They were in a 5th set as well.
Shot there from Tsitsipas, but he continues to come up a little bit lame. You can that is a full limp there from Tsitsipas. So if you're Murray, you've got to be aware of that. Maybe use these last 2 games to dictate play. Don't do much running yourself, but try to run your opponent. Try to wear him down a little bit going into the 5th. Take a page out of the book of the great Andre Agassi. Stay in the center of the court and just move him. Maybe even throw in a drop shot. If you think your opponent is injured, try everything. See which movements affect them the most. Is it side-to-side movement? Is it north and south?
Next, presser. Second serve.
Blistering stuff.
40.
Backhand of the match there for Tsitsipas. Absolutely unloads on this backhand. Great shoulder rotation, contact out in front, and beautifully measured.
Game, Tsitsipas.
It really is a case of survival of the fittest right now here on Arthur Ashe Stadium Court. Tsitsipas is a game away.
Well, Tsitsipas looked pretty good there with his movement, so clearly it's just certain movements where he feels a little bit of pain. And maybe he's got a fair bit of adrenaline going now with this 5-love lead here in the fourth, realizing that Murray's level has dipped as this match is worn on.
Noticed that his brother Jamie has actually just made his way into the stadium as well. He's taken his seat.
Did he have a ticket? The movement seems to be back for Tsitsipas.
Aryna has come from 2 sets down to beat Pierre Hugerbert, so Aryna it is that awaits the winner of this one. Scott, he has come in, he's been proficient. 21 of 29 points converted on in the forecourt today. And he is up and running in this 5th set. Surely too late to save it. His 4th set, excuse me.
But a nice effort there just to get one on the board here in this 4th set. And most importantly, if he were not able to break here, he gets to serve first in the 5th set. Generally allows you to be positive on the scoreboard, apply a little bit more pressure.
court to work with.
Lovely. Please take your seats at the end back of the court, ladies and gentlemen.
A couple of fans coming in to get some of this great action.
Defensive lob in the sport than Andy Murray.
Probably not. He does such an excellent job at getting that one extra ball back in play, but also making it difficult on the net rusher, either difficult overhead or one where they have to let the ball bounce and the point resets. Such a great scrambler is Andy Murray.
Scrambling his way back in this set as well.
15-14. To 2 fourth set. Murray leads by 2 sets to 1
in the fourth. Still some way behind. It's 5-2. Tsitsipas took the plunge again. This time, of course, it was the hip resurfacing, the big one. Unprecedented, really. Bob Bryan had a similar operation, didn't he? There was no way back for Bob.
Yeah, in some ways, that's the hope that Andy Murray needed. To see Bob come back at the time. Didn't really think Bob would make it back. Of course, he made it back to play doubles, which is entirely different than singles, but still, it was that glimmer of hope. And Murray has dedicated himself to getting back to this level. This is why he's done all the hard yards. This is why he's endured the pain. This is why he's done the surgeries. Just to be in these moments on the biggest courts against the best players in the world.
The documentary that was released in the UK was a good one. If you haven't seen it, it really does give you an insight into the painstaking work that he did off court. Ambitious from Tsitsipas's point of view.
That Andy Murray documentary was called Resurface, the same name in England. I actually watched it. I thought it was fascinating. You love all those documentaries that gives you some insight into a player's mind, the entire process that it takes to be at that level. We get to see the finished product when they're out here in their element shining, but it's all the hard work that they do behind the scenes that produces this level of play. Great for the younger audience to see documentaries like that.
just got enough spin to bring it down.
Video.
Beauty there from Tsitsipas.
15, 14.
On a few occasions, he's been able to handle the pace and redirect with intent.
Set point then for the world number 3. It's the shot right there, isn't it? That again we have highlighted that you feel just could do with a little bit of tinkering.
And if you look at it, he's got the wrong grip. He still has the topspin grip when he goes for the slice, so it floats a little bit.
Good digs, but again it was the quality of the first volley from Murray that put him in position.
Murray.
That was an excellent backhand volley. This one here lunging a little bit, but he punches it deep and then gets in position for the next one, then drops it short.
Tsitsipas now with just one more chance to serve it out.
Well, now the pressure shifts back to Tsitsipas after having a commanding lead in this fourth set. 5-love, now 5-3, only the single break. Great stuff from Andy Murray to fight back here in this fourth set. And now there's no doubt on the intent of Murray in this fourth set. He wants to break here. He wants to bring it all the way back.
The single-handed drive volley was not an easy shot to execute, but he hit it beautifully.
Yeah, that was an absolutely ridiculous shot. If you really know how hard it is to take a single-handed backhand out of the air and dip it cross-court, that was a tremendous shot there from Tsitsipas.
13-15.
Elevation.
14-15.
Just didn't quite have it. Tsitsipas has played an excellent game. Two more set points.
Tsitsipas once again, this time, I'm not sure if he's flexing for his foot or his knee there.
It was a match that had many people excited by its prospect, and has not disappointed. Get ready for a fifth and final set here on Alcaraz. The world number 3 survives.
This is too long in my opinion. And Murray using his experience here, knowing that he's going to get this entire crowd on his side and use them here in this fifth set. And just as you mentioned, Nick, is this the fuel
final set
that Andy Murray needed to give him that injection here in the fifth set?
Well, it could well be the case. Time will tell. Murray will get this fifth set underway. Judging by that reaction, I think you've got your answer.
15. I think that was directed to the other side of the court. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten those seatbelts. We have got an absolute beauty unfolding here on day 1 of the U.S. Open.
There's Jamie Murray, Alan McDonald on the left, Jamie's coach. And often you see Jamie out courtside watching his brother.
But Nick, you so quickly picked up, because we have such a great vantage point here a couple of games ago when Jamie snuck into the stadium. He's not in the player's box. I'm not even sure if Andy knows he's watching, because he's sitting behind Andy's chair. And as you can see, it's a rather random location.
Jamie been without his regular partner Bruno Suarez for a little while after Bruno had an appendicitis.
30-15.
And he may have just located his brother there, because he looked up in his direction with a big fist pump.
It's the 28th fifth setter of Murray's career. His record is a good one, as you would expect. 25-12 Murray over the years. His last, of course, was here in round one exactly 12 months ago.
No question that Tsitsipas has played with a little bit more aggression here over the last set and a half. Once again, on that occasion, moving forward.
Slump of the shoulders.
30-14.
And he's got to fend off an early break point.
Maybe we're seeing why Jamie Murray didn't come and sit down in the player box. He knows his brother probably better than anyone else. Got to fend off this break point opportunity here.
2 from 9 today, Tsitsipas on the break points.
First game from the
high quality return from the man from Athens, who has set his stall out early in this fifth set. Yeah, again, Murray continuing his complaints.
Heard him utter the word cheating at the end there, so just doesn't feel that it was fair play with the extended break, but you have to commend Tsitsipas in that game. He played an excellent game, terrific return there on break point. Here's a look at the player box of Andy Murray. That was a big first game, especially for Tsitsipas. He senses that this crowd is behind Andy Murray. Gets himself up an early break here in the fifth set.
He's actually 3-0 in 5-set matches this year as the Greek. Instead of Kokkinakis, Nadal, you'll famously remember in Australia this year, and Zverev at Roland Garros.
We mentioned earlier that Andy Murray said he loves this New York crowd, and you can see why. They have a true appreciation for his style of play, his never say die attitude. And they're trying to will him through this fifth and final set. How deep can Murray dig here?
15-all.
Whatever happens, whatever the outcome tonight, for all those that thought he was done, for him personally, this is going to be a major source of encouragement. He knows how much longer he has, but
just a little frustration there from Murray, but you have to commend Tsitsipas. He's raised his level here to start the fifth. He's come out with a purpose, really hitting the ball cleanly. No signs of any trouble with his foot.
It's more of the same.
40-15.
Suddenly it's Murray who's under pressure from the back of the court.
Game, Tsitsipas.
Very clean start.
Tsitsipas
to this fifth set from the world number 3. He may have taken his time at the end of the fourth, but whatever he did.
What, for 20 minutes every time? Oh, how long do you think it was? And the toilet's right there. What's he doing? What's he doing in there? It's never once taken me that long to go to the toilet, ever. And it's right there. Huh? What? You can do what? Well, that's what you're doing. Okay, yeah.
Jerry Armstrong.
He knows Andy well. That won't be the last he hears from Andy. He may want to change seats. But in fairness to Andy, he does have a point. Very extended break between the fourth and fifth set taken by Tsitsipas.
What do you do about it then, Mark, in the big picture of there is an element of that being unfair? Do you put a time limit on it? I mean, what can you do to ensure that
I
doesn't move into the kind of realms of being unfair?
I guess it's a hard thing to police, right? But you heard what Andy Murray was saying there, that the restroom was close by. Also, obviously, without getting into too much detail, but if they're within the rules and doing the right things, I guess time can be taken. You covered the Cincinnati event. I know there was some talk, not sure how true it was, but about the phone going in as well, and some text messages maybe transferring, today's day and age with technology. But I remember when I was a player, well, towards the later stages of my career, when you had a phone devices, you weren't allowed to take that in. And usually the person that accompanies you to the restroom makes sure you're not doing anything outside the lines, outside the parameters. But to be fair, I can remember back to my first year on tour. I actually was about to serve for the match in singles at Wimbledon, and my opponent took a break, and he took a real break. He probably came back 18 minutes later, and by then I had thought through everything. I had gotten so nervous, so tight. Luckily, I was somehow able to still serve the match out, but it was clearly a tactic, but not much I could have done about it.
about this is to try and raise his game.
40-15.
Oh, he's tried to use it as fuel early here. The only problem is Tsitsipas has raised his level, so Andy's going to have to steady himself and just try to keep this deficit to a minimum.
But his campaign is up and running here in the fifth. Tsitsipas leads 2-1. No player has won more matches on the men's tour this year than the Greek. 48 in all. If it is to be number 49 here in New York, it will have been well earned. Tsitsipas serving with a break. To be a good one, didn't it?
Love 15.
Just didn't execute.
Playing attacking tennis there. It was going to be close to possibly going long as well. That loading slice backhand there from Murray, but good aggressive play from Tsitsipas. Just misfired with that forehand. Swinging volley not so easy to execute at times.
15-all. 13-15.
Feature of Tsitsipas' game as well as when things tend to be going well, the pace of play increases for him. He doesn't hang around.
Yeah, he plays very quickly when things are going well. He was already up to the line, but took a step back once he realized Murray wasn't ready for the return. Definitely plays with a purpose. Murray's still pumping himself up, trying to turn this into a street fight. He's got the crowd on his side. He's got experience on his side. Just up against a very difficult opponent in world number 3, Tsitsipas.
Diverting it long.
30-40.
The noise levels here on Arthur Ashe just tick up another notch.
Thank you. The players are ready. Please. Thank you.
Oh, that is so cool. Tsitsipas, simply outstanding.
Yes.
Wow, the difficulty of this shot from Tsitsipas. Murray did an excellent job here of scrambling, got this slice back so low, but look how nicely measured that forehand was from Tsitsipas. And the first real reaction we've had from the Greek star.
Please.
The second serve just seemed to catch Murray by surprise.
Yeah, and it actually looked like Murray was stepping inside that baseline, looking to drive it. But an excellent second serve out wide from Tsitsipas. Neutralized the attack.
Again, Tsitsipas. New balls, please.
And as a welcome back to tennis here on Arthur Ashe goes, this has been pretty special today, isn't it?
Final set.
Yeah, especially for us, Nick. Last year being here without fans, it's just such a pleasure to see. Nearly full stadium, great atmosphere.
Those are the fans waiting to get in for the night session. There'll be a delay to it.
Say famous late night at the Open. Already a couple of minutes past 7 p.m. And we are still early here in the fifth. There's plenty more drama to unfold.
If you want to head to USOpen.org, I would urge you to do so. There's an abundance of things to see on there. Check out the latest scores, merchandise, tickets. USOpen.org, the official website of the US Open.
Pretty impressive from Tsitsipas. He's playing his best tennis right now in this fifth set. Murray absolutely tuning those backhands hard and through the court, and Tsitsipas able to absorb the pace and still create nice spin, nice depth. Murray's got to keep it within arm's length. You just never know. Tsitsipas, we mentioned, he's had a couple of hiccups last year here. 6 match points against Coric in the third round. Didn't close it out. Obviously, the big match at the French Open, up 2 sets to love. Lost to world number 1 Novak Djokovic.
This really the first period in the match where Murray's actually been behind in the score, Malty, isn't it? Because right from the off, break in the third kept him ahead.
first set.
It's the world number 3, though, that has the break in this 5th set. Tsitsipas up 3-2. Well, with the introduction of course, 32 seeds a few years ago at the majors, I think it's fair to say that a lot of the top players have been protected at times in the early rounds of majors.
Thank you.
This has been a real test, though, of the number 3 seed here.
Love 15.
Put the pressure on, and Tsitsipas is in a hole in this game.
And we are seeing the best tennis of the match so far here in this 5th set. And you can hear the crowd, they're getting on Tsitsipas for any delay now, even if it's to change rackets.
Buterak is down there in the front row as well. Of course, Eric has a big role to play here at the US Open. Goodness me. He is not holding back.
15-13.
Full force there from Andy Murray.
Please.
Was it long?
Yeah, just long on the baseline.
30-all.
How good was the judgment from Tsitsipas?
Yeah, you got to think almost out of fear of
Mr.
wanting to hit
Murray
the
is
volley
requesting
because
a
it was
replay
too
of the
close to
call on the
leave.
right baseline.
But it was the right decision from Tsitsipas.
Close call. We'll get another look at it. Just a few millimeters long.
Served extremely well so far in this 5th set. Tsitsipas, especially under pressure. Her serve percentage is at 72% here in the 5th.
Yes.
So hard to stay alive. Again, he's been forced to defend for much of this decider.
And he's been forced to defend because of the quality coming from Tsitsipas, continuing to play at his highest level so far in this match, here in this final set.
Yes.
Tsitsipas gets his way
leads
out of
4
trouble
games to 2 final sets.
in impressive style.
Even there, goes down, absolutely great, and you guys do nothing. And go, let's talk about it after the match, but right now it's going to matter.
You do sense that Murray, in many ways, sort of keeping it lingering just to keep the fire burning, isn't it, out here?
Yeah, using it as fuel.
Almost an injustice he feels that is in his mind. He just wants to kind of use it as a platform.
Thank you.
Throughout his career.
Thank you.
Well, it's been back-to-back
Here's enough
service games from Tsitsipas where Murray's had opportunities. He had a break point earlier, and then he had love 30 in the previous game. So he's making inroads. He's just not getting that ultimate success, leading to some of the frustration.
out. 30 left.
Tsitsipas taking a very aggressive position to return the first.
Again, Murray.
And returns for at a premium.
Tsitsipas leads 4 games to 3 final sets.
It's Tsitsipas with the break deep in the fifth. Without making them count so far.
Left. All.
Such a good job of finding the backhand, isn't he? As we see Anna Winter.
Let's second serve.
Tried to tease him in, didn't he? Tsitsipas had the final
15.
Yeah, the first short slice was good, directed to the backhand side, but changing the direction up the line. The only problem is Tsitsipas moves so well to his right. And he got there with plenty of conviction and delivered.
40-15.
Just not something you see very often, a missed second serve return from the backhand side of Andy Murray.
Game, Tsitsipas.
Will not get another chance in that game.
Tsitsipas leads.
The Greek who's enjoying the best season of his career. So close to getting over the first hurdle here.
Regardless of the outcome of this match, although it wouldn't count as a win for Andy Murray, it's definitely a win to see him play at this level and for this length of time. The only win he's looking for is a win on the scoreboard. But for the rest of us fans, great to see him back at this level.
It was only 2.5 years ago, of course, he sat in the press room in Australia, wasn't it? Breaking down, questioning whether it was it. They had that ceremony down under, didn't they?
Yeah.
Waving him off.
Really thought it was possibly the last we'd see of Andy Murray, but not to be denied. Heart of a champion has to go out on his own terms.
Of what we've seen tonight, he's far from going out.
15.
This may be the end of the road possibly here, but surely he has to take so much again from what he has produced down here. The approach was an ambitious one. For once, just the necessary feel coming in.
Yeah, just not enough with the backhand volley either. He's got almost undecided here if he was going to drop it way too deep there. Tough. I think the drop volley was the right play. It was just poor execution. Allowed Tsitsipas plenty of time to get up to it.
34-year-old former world #1. He's going to give himself one last chance to get the break and prolong his stay in New York. It's 5-4.
The great champion Andy Murray. Let's see what he can do
please.
here.
Thank you. Please. Left.
He's played an outstanding 5th set, hasn't he? There's still a little more to do, but he's held his nerve.
By far his best tennis of the match came here in this 5th set.
Left. Left.
4 hours and 48 minutes of intoxicating tennis here on the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Stefanos Tsitsipas with 3 match points.
Please.
It's a stunning victory for the world #3 here in New York.
6-4.
Not the warmest handshake you're likely to see, but it's Tsitsipas that outlasts Andy Murray here in 5 long sets. 10 minutes shy of 5 hours. It's the Greek who's on to round 2.
What a terrific match. You have to really hand it to Stefanos Tsitsipas.
So Brad Gilbert is standing by. Let's hear what Tsitsipas has to say.
Stefanos, you found yourself down 2 sets to 1 in a very intense match. How were you able to turn this match around?
God, I mean, it's not easy. It didn't come easy. Lots of sacrifice that I had to make out there in the court to get back. And I think the atmosphere was great today, and great day to enjoy some good quality tennis.
How was it out here playing out here with this crowd, being involved in a match like this?
Well, the New York crowd is known to be one of the best, crowds in the world, and the fact that we are out here able to compete again with people and have an electric atmosphere like today is something that we've been waiting for almost 2 years. So it's great to be able to come back, play on this amazing stadium, and get my first win this year at the US Open.
All right, next up you play somebody that played 5 sets. Do you want to know who you play?
Tell me, sure.
Manarino. Huh. What's your thoughts on that match?
Well, I hope I'm able to, keep my game at the same level that I managed to do the way I did today, and hopefully I'll get to be back here and enjoy this game on this court.
Recover, buddy. Go hit the ice bath. Moving on, Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Very different sort of player in the next round, isn't it, with Manarino and his funky style.
Yeah, Mannarino is very tricky. Well, not too many players have the style of Mannarino, the lefty. But Tsitsipas will be thrilled to get through.